You read On the Meaning of Adam Lambert.
I did. I read it last week. I gobbled it up. My knowledge of Adam was really limited at that point. It was limited really to what I had seen on American Idol. And I was really interesting, and I think my wife and I even went on iTunes and downloaded Ring of Fire and Mad World at one point, which we had never done before. So that was unusual for us. But I wanted to learn a lot more before, immersing myself in Adam Week in LA. It gave me way more insight than I expected into both the Adam of it all and then the sort of the other side of the coin, which was the whole fan aspect of it, specifically the Juno and Xena fan aspect, which opened up a kind of world to me that I hadn't thought about, didn't really know existed. I've been a rock fan most of my life, but I hadn't been engaged in that level of fandom and, dare I say, obsession, maybe ever. So that was just fascinating, and it was by turns sort of funny, enlightening, revelatory. My wife said, well, it must be interesting for you just to glimpse inside the mind of a woman or women in such detail, the erotic fantasies, all of the connections that both of these women who are extremely smart, well-read, esoteric in their interests bring to the discussion of Adam. And having some sort of kind of academic interest myself, I just found that pretty beguiling. So just to follow from one kind of reference to the next, mythology, literature, S&M, you name it, it's all kind of there. I've kind of started to feel that it was a way into, if not the thing itself, the idea of eternal youth. That Adam represented a source of youthful vitality, sexuality, musicality, kind of the life force itself. The idea of tapping into urges and celebrations of Eros as opposed to Thanatos, and so much of rock and roll is about the tension between those two things. And with Adam, you don't feel that tension so much. It seems more celebratory. Not to say it isn't edgy, but there's something about the music and about his presentation that's kind of just purely delightful. And he does it unselfconsciously. It seems, I said to Marla as we were watching him, he's a natural. And I didn't just mean a natural performer, but I think that's what I was sensing, what you just said, which is that he instinctively pulls all those thematic threads together and emotions without having to work it, So there's something relaxing about watching him. Normally when you watch a performer on stage who's ambitious in trying to embody different tensions, artistic tensions, and Adam seems to just let it flow through him in a way that makes you feel good, and part of a kind of communal experience of everybody in the room feeling the same way. It's sort of uncomplicated, There's a lot going on, but it's not complicated. So there's nothing neurotic about his performance, and that's refreshing.
It's been kind of striking that maybe sort of the first cohort of fans was dominated by, I guess you'd say, baby boomer women, middle-aged women. People looking from the outside might say that it's kind of creepy or weird or just a collective midlife crisis.
I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel anything creepy about that, or even weird. It's striking because you don't expect it. So I would say that normally when I go to a rock concert now, I definitely am skewing older, which doesn't bother me. It's enjoyable just to be able to still be witness to that phenomenon, the phenomenon of the rock concert. But to see that unusual demographic, again, it was also refreshing because it just sort of opens up the whole experience. It's inclusive, It's not just diverse, but it's inclusive, and I think that just adds to the fun of it. Again, the music. I'll reference the glam period again. and having listened to the album previous to going to the concert, and I hadn't heard a record that was produced with that kind of, I think the other night I called it widescreen Technicolor pop production. It's big and sort of unapologetically big, theatrical. A lot of, the more theatrical rock and roll feels false to me, and, kind of Vegas-y. And his doesn't. There's a sincerity to it and a authenticity to it. Because I think he brings so much kind of belief and confidence to what he does. You just go with it. I mean, starting with his voice, which is just, a phenomenon. He seems, there's nothing he seems incapable of doing as a singer. So all of the styles that he can inhabit, he does. Like he does so effortlessly, and that's just joyous to hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of.
The musicians were flawless. And what I particularly liked live was that little coterie of dancers who followed him and mimicked him across the stage, and sort of paid homage to his his godlike rock beauty, and that was just hilarious and sexy and just super fun. It's like you want him to explore the boundaries and even go beyond the boundaries of all the different styles that interest him, because he does it just so well.